Hello everybody and welcome to the Fund Manager section of today's ESG Pathway. I'm Jake Moeller, Senior Investment Consultant at Square Mile.
Last year we made a very important commitment, which was that by the end of this year we would be 100% ESG integrated across every one of our assets at Schroders. And that is, in my view, the strongest way of recognizing that ESG considerations should sit alongside that traditional financial analysis when we make those investment decisions.
When we launched our product, I think if there was one element we spent the most amount of time on trying to ensure that we had clarity on was exactly this definition. When we knew that there was, what is ESG integration, what is ethical investing, what is sustainable, what is impact investing, and we wanted to make sure that we had, both for our clients and also internally for our analysts and our team, a clear definition of what we were proposing as a product. So I think it's extremely important at the outset to ensure you're able to define what you think sustainable investing means.
When we're talking about sustainable investing, ESG investing, all of the good things that we've been covering off today, is there an opportunity for active managers to really demonstrate their strength here? Absolutely. Without a doubt.
We've looked and done some research on how sustainable investment companies have performed during the COVID crisis. We have a European sustainable equity fund, and what the investment team did was they looked at all of their highly rated companies in our universe of European companies to look at how they performed during the COVID crisis, and those highly rated companies actually outperformed compared to the MSCI benchmark for Europe. Now, interestingly, the other thing that we saw when we looked into the data is that the companies that we identified as laggards, so those with our lowest rating, actually underperformed the benchmark through that period. Now, we recognise that that's a relatively sort of short period of time. So looking sort of more broadly, if we look at all of the sustainable investment funds that we have at Schroders, and that's across equities and fixed income and multi-asset, they've all outperformed a traditional benchmark since inception.
We're not just trying to invest in green companies, and I think naturally that's a challenge anyway in emerging markets. We're trying to avoid businesses that just fit an attractive theme today. So you don't see wind turbine manufacturers, solar farms in the portfolio, because in emerging markets, these businesses have been plagued with huge governance issues, or they just don't make attractive economic returns.
That is absolutely a misconception that you have to sacrifice performance to feel and do good. Actually, you're not sacrificing anything. If anything, you're going to get better performance. And that's something that we absolutely fundamentally believe, is that it's not about sacrificing, it's about getting at an even better performance. So when you add it all up, the question is, why wouldn't you invest this way?
Part of the new regulatory framework is supporting that greater transparency to make sure that clients really understand what it is we're doing. So yes, we will ensure that all of our funds comply with the relevant regulations, but being very clear to articulate how a fund is sustainable and what it is doing in order to meet the required guidelines. So that common language is so critical to the success of the new regulations.
Businesses that don't embrace the key issues around environmental social governance which are clearly big risks to your business. So if you're a big IT services company where labor is clearly the biggest part of what drives the growth of your particular business, if you don't think about the welfare of your workforce, clearly that's going to be a headwind to your business. Similarly, if you're a hugely cash generative business and you don't think about a sensible dividend policy, then clearly investors are going to put a lower return or expected valuation on that particular business?
No difference whatsoever as far as we are concerned. We have the exact same time horizon that a client may invest for. We invest for the medium to long term, whether you're going into a sustainable solution or into a multi-asset solution or something else. So absolutely no difference in the time horizons that investors should be thinking.